How do we find, hire, and train effective remote working salespeople? As small business owners, it's so important to us to make sure that we can effectively and affordably grow our businesses. And hiring remote working salespeople is probably one of the best ways to be able to help your business grow in a sustainable and a consistent way. So, what are some of the benefits of hiring remote working salespeople? Well, obviously, like I just talked about, it creates an amazing way where you can affordably grow your business.
I need that.
So as you start really developing your marketing and your sales strategy, you're going to start to realize that your business is going to become inundated with leads and potential customers. Now, this could be a seasonal thing where maybe at certain times of the year you have way more influx of leads and customers than other times of the year. Or maybe this is just a slow buildup of over time as you're being consistent with your sales and marketing, as I talk about in other videos. Then you're going to see a demand on your business to be able to talk to and really just process and work with more leads and customers. Also, the more leads and customers that you get, the more there's going to be other demand for other types of jobs and skill sets like follow up and customer service. And so we really need an affordable way to start managing all of this, because as small business owners, it's absolutely crucial to make sure that we are giving a great experience to our leads and customers. And that is the next thing. We need to make sure that we are giving a really high quality experience to our leads and customers that are coming to us and choosing to do business with us. One of the big differentiators between small businesses and big businesses is the level of care, trust, and just service that we can give to our customers. Big businesses are so automated and they're so process oriented that they lose touch of actually solving some of their customers' biggest problems and biggest needs. And look, systems and processes obviously aren't a bad thing. I talk about this in most of my videos. But you can get to a point where you just get so system and process oriented that when you have a unique scenario for a customer, your employees just are trained on sticking to that regimen, sticking to that process, and there's no way they can see around it. And as small business owners, we can really take that opportunity and we can focus on that, and we can create an amazing experience and create a lot of trust and loyalty with our lead and customer base and really just help them. And so we really want to be able to create an amazing experience of working with us. This is one of the best ways that you're going to find to be able to grow your referrals. This is going to be one of the best ways to keep customers around and really just get long-term consistent growth from your business.
Hell yeah!
As you see this long-term base of customers and demand from new leads, new customers, existing customers really start to grow as you grow your business, then you're going to start to need to hire different positions, different skill sets, and different job functions to manage all of these different demands on your business. So you might need to hire someone specifically to do sales calls. You might need to hire someone specifically to handle customer complaints. You might need to hire someone specifically to do prospecting and generate these leads. And so you're going to need to grow your team, because if you have one person who's trying to do most of these functions or some of these functions, you're going to see it's very difficult for them mentally to switch between different job functions. Okay, I just did a sales call and now I have to go take care of a customer complaint, or vice versa. I just took care of a customer complaint and maybe even had a negative experience, and now I got to go try to be positive on a sales call. It just does not work long term at scale. And so as you start to grow your leads and customers that you're working with, you're going to need to be able to hire multiple different positions, remote workers, and functions to be able to manage all of these different aspects of your business. And this is why hiring remote working salespeople and sales staff, support staff can be so beneficial to making sure that you can grow your business consistently and affordably. What are some of the common problems that I see business owners face when it comes to hiring remote sales staff? The first thing is going to be finding remote workers that, one, have the language ability that you require, whether it's English or another language in your home country. And two, really finding remote workers that have the sales skills that you need. And so this can be a huge problem, because if you're trying to hire at an affordable rate, and you're trying to hire the sales skills you need, you're going to have to be very selective on who you want to hire. And so you're not going to be able to take just any person from your job application, and you're not going to be able to just trust them to be able to communicate well enough, to understand the sales process and sales skills enough. You're going to have to spend a lot of time qualifying your applicants, interviewing your applicants, and really vetting them, and kind of even putting them through a trial and test phase, as I talked about in general remote worker hiring videos, and making sure that they can actually perform at a level where you need them to perform, where they can speak the language, they can understand the different nuances of the language and the different dynamics. They don't have to be perfect, of course, but they just have to be able to communicate effectively. And especially in a sales job, a sales function, you have to be able to do that at a level where you can portray emotion, and you can, walk your prospect, your customer, your lead through the process well, and be able to lead them where you want them to go. You're going to have to spend a lot of time vetting these remote sales workers to make sure that they can actually function in your business. The next problem that I see small business owners have a lot, and this could be remote sales workers, this could be in-person sales employees, that a lot of business owners really just do not understand how to train their sales staff. They do not understand how to put the systems in place. They do not know how to take sales goals and put those in behavioral tracking tasks. That way they can actually hold their salespeople accountable to different actions that they should be taking. And they don't really know how to effectively design a sales training program, so that way they can take someone who maybe has some rough sales skills or has some great interpersonal skills and teach them how to do a sales process, a sales flow successfully. This is one of the biggest problems that small business owners have when it comes to growing a sales force or hiring a salesperson, and why they always think that they are the only ones that can sell. And it's a lot of times because they are either one, perfectionist, this is the way I found out how to do it, and you have to do it exactly this way, which there is some merit to that. You should be able to take what you've learned and apply that to someone else, but understanding that they're going to have a different kind of flow, a different kind of vibe, and they're going to apply their own unique style to it. As long as they perform that within unique parameters, then that's okay. Or they just have no idea and they expect someone to come in and be able to just sell with no direction, no guidance. And really, that's just creating a situation set up for failure. One of the other problems that I see small business owners have a lot is really understanding the different tasks, roles, and responsibilities between different functions with their customers and leads, like sales, customer service, and sales support. And so many times we think we can hire a salesperson to come in and do all three functions at the same time. And like I said previously, that is really difficult to do because the salesperson has to jump between different mindsets and different roles. And it's very difficult to go back and forth all day and do that. Even if you have a period of time where you're doing sales, a period of time where you're doing sales support, like prospecting, leads, generation, things like that. And then you're doing customer service, customer complaints. It can be difficult, and it really can be draining to jump between those different functions. And so you really have to start to learn and understand what the different roles are, how these different mindsets are when it comes to approaching these situations, and start looking at hiring different remote workers to, really fulfill those different positions. So understanding the difference between sales, customer service, and sales support is key to being able to make sure you're not just hiring someone who actually could be a really good salesperson, but then you're giving them other functions that maybe they don't even have skill sets for.
That's not right.
Or maybe they're just not naturally talented for, or maybe it's just bogging them down and not letting them perform at their best as a salesperson, and creating that experience where you're kind of set up for failure.
I'm glad you're enjoying the video. If you need help with hiring, training, or managing your VAs, make sure you click the link in the description below to check out our free VA hiring workshop. If you need one-on-one help with me, click the link to schedule an appointment to see how I can help.
So how do we go out and start finding salespeople that are actually going to be able to perform, they're going to be able to function, and they're actually going to be able to help our business grow? Well, the first thing I would say is when you're looking at applicants, you're looking at interviewees, you're thinking about your job description, I really like to focus on interpersonal skills and maybe having some sales experience. In my opinion, if someone has the passion, the motivation, they enjoy helping people, They enjoy communicating with people, and I mean really enjoy it. I remember working with one salesperson who I've trained for quite a few years now. And, he just had this natural gift of gab. He loved talking to clients. Sometimes maybe it was a little too much, but he started on that spectrum of I just enjoy talking to people. And so he actually made a great salesperson. Now, he didn't really have a lot of the fundamental sales skills. He didn't really have a strong closing process or strategy in his mind. So we had to teach those things. But because he enjoyed communicating with people so much, he was very happy to be on the phones all day and just be talking to people, even if it was negative conversations. And so he made a great salesperson, customer service hire until we were able to grow that company and get them more sales support staff and customer service staff. And he was able to focus only on sales. He was a great representative of the company. He was very helpful. He was very kind. He was very thoughtful. And he was able to lead sales conversations with empathy once we were able to give him that framework of how to actually operate in sales. And because he cared so much about people, he didn't want to do anybody any harm. And so we did have to do a little bit of work with him on, hey, look, do you actually believe that this product, this service is a great fit for this person or not? And once he was sold on that, he just absolutely excelled and was able to do a fantastic job in helping that company grow. But looking at those interpersonal skills, do they really enjoy communicating? Is it a passion of theirs? Do they like helping people? Do they communicate with people in their daily lives on a regular basis? What in their past positions, did they have a lot of communication? Did they have a lot of leadership responsibilities? These are different things that you're going to want to look for in order to see if someone would make a potentially good salesperson. Obviously, they have to be able to learn the skill set of sales. So that is a component you need to vet for in your hiring and your onboarding, but most skills can be trained. It really is the interpersonal and behavior skills that a lot of employees struggle with. And so I think a lot of times as small business owners, we really look for the sales skills and sales experience. And honestly, we don't always know if the sales training they received before us was actually quality or not. Was it, hey, I just want you to go through this list of 10,000 people, say the script over and over, and it's just a volume game? Or were they really trained on how to care for people, use empathy, ask the right questions, and guide them to an answer that is in a solution that is best for the customer? Usually it's the first scenario that I have found. And so honestly, finding people with interpersonal skills and then training them on the sales skills can actually be a much better route, although it does take a little bit longer. And so it really just comes down to the person and how their interpersonal skills line up with any sales skills that they may have, sales experience that they may have. Obviously, getting someone with at least a little bit of experience so that way they have an understanding of what they're getting in for the job is very important. And so a lot of times I'll also look for people that had very difficult sales jobs, maybe door knocking, maybe cold calling, because if they are willing to go through that for an extended period of time, let's say 6 months or more, they are probably going to really excel well in an environment where you can bring them in and maybe they're not doing such aggressive work. They're not doing such cold outreach, but maybe they're just working with warm leads, and they're going to appreciate that opportunity and be able to use some of those skills they learned and use the new skills and process that you're going to teach them. And they're going to really excel because it's going to be a much better environment for them. And when it comes to language skills, this one is really pretty straightforward. You just need to get these remote workers on a video call as part of the interview process and talk with them. Ask them, specific questions. Ask them in-depth questions. Are they, and even more so than just the language, but perception and comprehension, right? Do they understand the question? Do they really understand what it means, what you're asking for? When they are unsure, do they ask you to clarify? Do they put together responses and answers coherently and where it makes sense and where it actually gives you the response and the answer that you're looking for? Do they have really good questions for you? Have they thought about this job? Have they thought about this opportunity? And have they prepared some thoughts for you? These are all really good things that you can look for in a job interview, even if it's video. to see how they're going to perform. You can also look at their body language. Are they sitting up straight? Are they, speaking with a good tone? Are they, shy? Or are they, confident in who they are and what they're saying and their abilities? Can they joke around a little bit? Can they take a joke? These are all really good signs that this person could be a talented salesperson, whether they have extensive sales training or not. The next thing I would really recommend is honestly take a look at the demand that you have on your business. Do you have customers that need serviced? Do you have enough leads that are coming in to feed a salesperson to keep them busy, for the amount of time you want them to work, part-time or full-time? Do you have lead generation that needs to be done? You need to look at these different aspects of your business and the different tasks that are associated with them. You may realize that you need some different remote workers to fulfill some of these different functions. Again, as small business owners, sometimes we just have to start with that first hire, and we have to give that person the different responsibilities that they have. This is where the marketing in your business comes into play, because if you can hire a salesperson and you can keep them busy with leads, even just from the efforts of the marketing, and then once they're paying for themselves, maybe you can go and hire a sales support staff who is now going to start doing lead generation and feeding that salesperson even more. Or maybe you need to hire a customer service person to give a great experience to your customers so that way they stick around and you don't have a lot of churn. You need to look at these different functions and these different roles and responsibilities in your business, because if you hire one person to do it all, most likely they're not going to do any of them very well.
It won't do much good.
And when it comes to working with your customers, this is the most important part of your business. You need to make sure that you're able to deliver a high quality experience, because this is what's going to separate you not only from big businesses, which typically are more convenient to work with than smaller businesses and offer better guarantees, but also going to separate you from your competition. If you're in an industry that's highly competitive, giving an amazing lead and customer service experience is going to set you apart far and beyond, and it's going to build a lot of trust and loyalty with your audience, with your leads and your customers. And so really think about, hey, do I have enough work where I can hire maybe a salesperson, sales support staff, and customer service, or two of those three? Or do I really need to have this one salesperson who is doing all three roles for the moment, but as soon as we start to get busier and as soon as they pay for themselves, I need to hire someone to come in and help them? And then as you have these different positions broken up, you want to look at the specific tasks that you need for each position. And this is going to really show you who you need to hire and the specific skill sets that they need to have to get those tasks done. I talk a lot about this in my other hiring videos, where you need to look at the tasks you need done and hiring the skill sets for those tasks. So check some of those videos out, either up here or down below, where you can go and you can find out more details on how to do that. But you want to look at the different responsibilities and the different tasks, and then you can start to look at, again, those interpersonal skills and those technical skills of the job function. Because I can tell you, a customer service person who's going to be friendly, they're going to be outgoing, they're going to be high energy, they are not going to be the best customer service person, right? They usually are not going to have the patience, they're not going to have the, thought process, and they're not going to have the goals in mind that a customer service person would, of keeping customers happy and taking care of them. A salesperson obviously should be empathetic and they should be focused on, helping their clients, but they're helping them in a different way than a customer service person would. Let's take a look at a sales support staff, someone who may be doing, lead generation, someone who could be doing follow-ups, things like that. It's a much different role than just having a salesperson who's literally on the phone or in meetings all day presenting ideas and answering questions, to then be doing cold outreach where you're just sending messages and you're just sending volumes of cold contacts out to try and get response. Now, salespeople obviously can do all of these things for a certain period of time and in certain volumes. Again, if you're a small business, you really just need to hire that first person, but you want to really break up these different tasks, these different roles, these different responsibilities based on different skill sets. A lead generator might be much better at data collection and might be much better at organization and consistency than a salesperson is. Let's be honest, most salespeople are not the most organized and they're not the most detail oriented people because they're focused on the conversations, the thoughts, and ideas, and not necessarily the number, the data, and everything else. And so you need to think about these different positions, these different roles, and make sure you're hiring accordingly. And don't just hire a salesperson to go out and do all of these different things long term for your business. It's not going to work. Even if you have to hire these different positions at a part time to start off with, or you have to hire one person, have them do one function while you and other members of your team maybe pick up the slack elsewhere, because sales and customer service is such an important function and part of your business, the customer and lead facing part of your business. You want to make sure you can do it at the highest quality possible. And so those are my biggest recommendations when it comes to making sure that you can hire quality sales remote workers for your business. If you guys have any questions or thoughts about that, make sure you leave some comments down below. If I left anything out or you have some additional questions, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to answer those and give you more specifics. In a YouTube video like this, where I have a wide audience with audience members from different businesses and different backgrounds, it's hard to give really specific advice. And so this is why I offer my consulting services. But you can also leave your comments down below and I will get back to you and help you any way I can. Hey guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for tuning in. If you got some value out of that, make sure you go ahead and let me know by leaving a like. I'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, and comments down in the comments section. And of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos. We release 3 videos a week, one on sales, one on marketing, and one on VAs. And of course, if you want to check out some of our services or products, check out the links in the description, as well as you can find information on one-on-one coaching and consulting with me, where we can dive into the specific strategies and solutions that you need in order to take your business from 6 figures to 7 figures, or low 7 figures to more 7 figures.